Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we take a look at the impact former First Lady Rosalyn Carter left in the Commonwealth. And veterinarians in Kentucky are warning dog owners of a new illness traveling across the country.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are coming up on 5 a.m. on November 21st. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. And Brandon, I was on my way to work this morning and there was a little bit of rain outside, so much needed, that's for sure.
Exactly, and hopefully this will get us out of a little bit out of that drought situation we're in and calm some of these forest fires down a little bit more. But yeah, definitely much needed as we head out the door this morning. And you can see on live pinpoint Doppler radar, not everybody lit up, but some places kind of in the soggier sectors. Now we go back down toward parts of, let's call it Lake Cumberland area there, McCreary County, along 27 there, Pine Knot, going back up toward Somerset, over toward east of Williamsburg, north, I guess kind of southwest of London right there, up toward Rockcastle County a little bit, and then over this way south of Hindman, north here at the house. It's not too bad right now, but it was pouring down just a little while ago. I live between Colson and Whitesburg, so that kind of gives you an idea where we're at. And then over toward Pike County, up US 119 from Dorton over toward Pikeville there this morning. Now our camera network, you see not a whole lot going on. Look at that Buffalo Mountain camera though. Watch how much it's shaking. That wind up there on those higher elevations is stout this morning. We're talking about gusts of potentially up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. And again, we're having to keep an eye on that for you. 46 in Wise, 48 Jonesville, 48 Moorhead, Ashland, and Irvin. Everybody else is in the 50s right now. That will drop a little bit later on today as that cold front approaches our region. Out the door forecast, take your rain gear. You will need that all day long today. We'll talk about the extended forecast, including the holiday forecast, coming up here in just a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Brandon. We are continuing to remember former First Lady Rosalyn Carter. She died Sunday after a battle with dementia at the age of 96. Her work with Habitat for Humanity brought her and former President Jimmy Carter to Eastern Kentucky 26 years ago. An organizer who worked with Mrs. Carter shared with Jessica Umbro what it was like to know the country's former leading lady.
She was so active in everything he did. It's kind of like the hard work and brains behind the power. That was Rosalyn.
Former First Lady Rosalyn Carter was known for being hands-on in Washington.
I like to know what's going on. Jim has always involved me.
It wasn't always obvious what she was doing because she was quiet, but you knew if she appreciated it and liked it, he did too. She'd be nudging him and she'd ask questions.
And when it came to brainstorming how to tackle Kentucky Habitat for Humanity's 1997 project in Eastern Kentucky, she was hands-on as well.
We just took a white piece of paper and drew the state of Kentucky and the state of Tennessee and put stars where the towns were, you know. But she was right in there, you know, looking at stuff, helping out.
It was a level of involvement that went beyond the planning process.
They always built a house with President Carter's team of people, you know, his volunteers. But my wife had this idea that we ought to do a First Lady's house.
1, 2, 3, heave!
I think that's one thing that's good about doing this with all women, because it shows that women can do this kind of thing. And if women like to build, I think they should build as a profession.
And it was a working relationship with Hannah and his wife that extended into a friendship.
That's just a Christmas card they sent us.
A friendship that allowed for a closer look at a public figure that millions knew of, but not nearly as many had the opportunity to truly know.
It just very quickly, she warmed up to people and you could warm up to her. And she's just very, very special in that way.
In Lexington, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
A series of public and private events memorializing former First Lady Carter will be held in Georgia before she is buried at the residence she shared with former President Carter since 1961. Recent reports say hundreds of dogs have caught a new deadly illness nationwide. Lexington veterinarians say they have seen several cases of it since February. Veterinary health experts say the illness is very contagious and starts with a persistent cough. Dogs may also show other symptoms like fatigue and lack of appetite. Experts say dogs are most likely to catch the illness by coming into contact with other dogs.
If you're thinking about your dog being in a population where there might be other dogs, for Christmas, etc., is make sure that you're doing as much as you can with that baseline vaccines.
If your dog is experiencing any of the symptoms, you can call your veterinarian. A report from the Kentucky Youth Advocates shows fewer kindergarten students are ready to learn. Data shows 46% of students are ready to learn this school year compared to more than 51% in the 2017-18 school year. With those numbers decreasing, school officials are finding ways to better them. Roy G. Eversole Elementary School Principal Derek Allen says they have been seeing the effects of COVID that it had on learning.
Post-COVID, I guess we're still seeing the effects of that, and we do have a lot of young students that come to us and maybe aren't kindergarten ready, and that may be from not having access, to maybe a preschool or a high-quality child care facility, something like that.
Allen says they are working on ways to improve those numbers, partnering with other organizations to find solutions. FEMA is awarding nearly $21 million to Kentucky Emergency Management for communities affected by the July 2022 flooding. The funding grant is worth about $20.8 million, which will be used to clean up debris left behind from the flooding. The debris piled up due to severe storms which caused flooding, landslides, and mudslides. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we return, the U.S. Secretary of Defense made a surprise visit to Ukraine yesterday.
And the forecast continues to stay soggy and a little bit breezy as we head through your Tuesday. We'll talk about all the details for the holiday week coming up in about 3 minutes.